Crikey mate, Johnny Wilderness here, croaking along this trail here, and I came across some flora I want to talk about today, and that would be Caesar weed, which looks a bit like this here. That's the plant, and right here is the seed, and you might be familiar with this if you happen to be from Florida, other parts of the world or country, and these are those little prickly seeds that you go on a hike and come home and you'll find all over your shirt, your pants, your socks, your hair, even your head hair, your body hair, stick to it, little pesky buggers. But this is Caesar weed, and they're an invasive species to Florida. They came here in around the 1800s from East Asia specifically. And, apart from being little annoying buggers, as I said, they can actually be grown. Their stalks can be used for fibers. It's in the hibiscus family, this plant, which is a cousin to cotton and Indian hemp, which means all the plants in the hibiscus family are pretty much edible. And the interesting thing about this little guy right here, aside from its ability to just stick on and grab to your clothes, is on the back here, these vines, as you can see there, is actually food for protective ants. So ants protect this plant and they feed off them in the back. Pretty interesting, little give. You gotta give to take, help each other out there a bit. And yeah, that's the first part I want to talk about with the Caesar weed. Now I want to talk to you about a bit of inspiration from the Caesar weed. Here we go. Crikey, so I was talking about inspirations that have been caused by Caesar weed. There is another plant similar to Caesar in the sense of how it sticks onto your clothes. You can see even the plant here sticks on as well as the seeds. That's due to having little tiny, hundreds and hundreds of little tiny hooks on the plant, like little grappling hooks. And it sticks to your clothes. Now there's another plant called the burdock weed, which actually was the inspiration for Velcro. Now, a man by the name of George Strauss, I believe, a Swiss inventor in the 1940s, was hiking along in the Swiss Alps with his dog, and he just kept coming across these burdock seeds, just kept sticking to his dog. So he was curious about it, and he studied it, put it under a microscope, and he discovered all those little hooks in the plant. And that is how, ladies and gentlemen, he was able to invent Velcro, one of man's greatest inventions in the past century. It's come to a lot of uses, and that's a beautiful thing, about these types of plants. That leads me into something else I want to talk to you today about, just about this Caesar weed and this fauna, and that's some beauty of nature as well. And just how, when I first came across this plant, I came across the seeds first on these branches and such, and just figure them as just annoying little pests, little plants stuck to you, but I got curious about them. I read into them, I researched, and then you discover all these beautiful things. There's what you might have thought was a useless, annoying, invasive weed is actually has a lot of uses, as I said. This, you could eat it. It's actually a famine food in Africa. Now, it's a little hard to eat. It's not very recommended. But as well as that, as I said before, the stalks can be used for fiber and such. And again, it's a famine food in Africa. And, you just look into all these plants and you find all these beautiful things about them. You might think it's just, again, a pesky weed. You want to get rid of it. But then you learn more about it. You respect it. You research about it. And then you get to discover, why it's there, the uses these plants have, the reason it's here, the benefits they can give you. And, I think that's just a beautiful thing, just everything in life, all flora, fauna, us humans, everyone has a use, a reason, a beauty about them. You just got to know, you just got to be willing to learn, open your mind a bit, respect them, get into it. And that's pretty much it today. Talking about, again, this Caesar weed, invasive species. You can see some of it there again in the ground if you like. That's what the plant looks like. It grows and grows. As it gets older, it starts producing seeds on the top. Ends up looking a bit like this. The seeds are on the long. They drop to the ground. They stick to people, animals, birds, and then they spread across everywhere. They prefer more dry places. They don't go near water as well. That's another thing about the Caesar weed. But that's it, mate. Crikey on.